Realms, they call it. What a fine poetic name for something as rotten and twisted as our land has become. It was not always so. Long ago, the old empire, the noblest and most enduring society created by humankind, spanned almost the entire continent of Zerine, the cradle of man. But after several millennia of progress and incomparable achievements, inevitably, the empire began to fall into stagnation and decadence. Desperately holding on to their privileges and resisting change while trying to avert the collapse of the realm, the emperor and his theocracy took to measures that were worthy of true despots in cruelty. Subjugating weaker realms, enslaving whole nations, strip mining foreign resources, oppressing imperial citizens, war on several fronts, genocide. Eventually, the gods could no longer tolerate such horrors wrought in their name. Foretold by an abundance of divine omens, they descended upon the empire to right its wrongs. Thus, in a chain of dreadful events that became known as the Calamity, they annihilated the empire in a matter of days. The gods then finally saw what they had done in their anger and confusion. It is said that so much grief and shame filled them that they were broken and they left this reality, never to return. The continent and its inhabitants seemed dead, but at length survivors began to crawl out of their hiding holes and faced a land that no longer welcomed them. Arcane anomalies, the fallout of the Calamity, now riddled the continent, and people realized that they had to share their new home with changed and twisted creatures. Terrible beings entered through the cracks in the tapestry of reality, arose to rule over the natives. In time, these new powers rebuilt the fallen empire in their own image, and the River Realms, now godless and vengeful, reincarnated from the ashes. The inhabitants of the land, such as I, now eke out a living under the crushing rule of the new empire. The continent itself constantly resists our every attempt at building a cozy home for ourselves. As travel is dangerous, many ventures specialize in transferring cargo and passengers over bleak and deadly leagues of land. Others try to take everything of value from said travelers, or attempt to find buried treasures among the ruins of the old empire. The leaders of the endeavors are, some say, the bravest men and women of the River Realms. Such a leader is called a Vagrus.
Holy schmoly. Alright. They fixed the bug. They patched the bug today. They did it. They actually did it. It was the white thing. They fixed the white thing. Holy moly. I'm so tired today. It is insane. I had to get up an hour early. Or like 2. Something. Either way, it was too many. It was too many. It was not good. Alright, so we just progressed this. So now we need to go and get a bunch of stuff. Let's see, was grain worth buying here? No. Spice is not worth selling. We will set out. We head up. I mean, do we go here? We have tons of people. Sure. But yeah, let's focus on trying to progress again. But it's really hard to focus on that in this game. Because you just need to travel infinite. So it's... Is it 10? Or is it 11? Well, sure, let's rest here. It was 12. No! Save the beasts. They do eat slaves too, but fuck it. Well, it went fine. Apparently you can't eat sandworms. That's a lot of fucking guys. Is scrap metal like really expensive here? It's definitely not cheap, but it's not that expensive. We'll just buy it. Always buy fried kelp when you go here. Port refuges. Yeah, we're going there. So sure. They can come. 42 medical supplies left. I don't know. Is Bright Kelp even that worth buying? Like 11. Sells for 16 in Tectum. Yeah, selling Bright Kelp is actually really good there. But like, it's good in Ash. Decent in Ciderar, which is where we're going. Where's Avernum? There. It's not worth that much there. This is useless. Isn't it? But like... Yeah, no, it's useless. Because it doesn't translate. Like, it's showing you how much cheaper is it to buy here than here. But that's not interesting. And same thing, like selling here and here, the difference between that. That's also not interesting. Because it needs to have a higher sell than buy for it to be worth bothering with. And they don't correlate necessarily, I feel like. Here there's 4. This is directly 4. This is like 3 and 3.4. Here it's 3. Here it's less than 2. 1. No, it's 2.2. So like it doesn't correlate. And that's what's so stupid. It really, really, really needs a difference that tells you, yeah, if you buy it for this here, you'll be able to sell it for this here. That's what this should be. In fact, it's... Price difference is useless. The price difference should show how much you will make if you sell somewhere. If you sell at another location. Right now, it only shows the difference between buy prices and sell prices, which is borderline useless information. You have to manually go through every single item all the time and eyeball the buy price versus sell prices, and it sucks. And is genuinely one of the biggest flaws of the entire game. And it is. It is genuinely... It is so bad that, in my opinion, it warrants a patch to add to fix this. It's that damaging. Anyhow. And it should be this. No coffee beans. Spices. We are in Larnac. Isn't there like a current area button or something? No. Larnac, Sadirar, Avernum, Ash maybe. Spice. Not worth buying. Not really. Wine is actually worth a shitload. How much wine do they have? It's regular wine. What about chitin? Not worth selling. Spices. Not worth. The chitin isn't really worth keeping either. That's the issue. Because it's garbage. Like, is there anywhere where chitin is actually worth anything? It sells for 7 here. What is that? That's 3.6 each. 4 in Ash. Lumen is the best place for chitin. Bellaris. Karnak. But it's just... the prices are just so bad that it's not... it doesn't matter. Oh, what did I say? Mirage. Ash. Sadirar Refuges. We can sell it in Refuges, maybe. Oh, Despes. New Bond game is Poggies. Alright, well that sounds good. I was kind of expecting it to be cringe. But I didn't really look at it that much because it's way too expensive. I'm not buying that. Buy 2 more slaves. Actually, maybe we can... maybe the book has arrived. Let's see. Senator Rain's Legacy of the Kalani. They say that Senator Rain was especially keen on her Kalani heritage. Xandros muses as he gives you the book. She found the time to dedicate herself to her studies of this culture despite her astounding achievements in politics and governance. Commendable. Those that wish to look into knowledge about this distant province will surely appreciate the fruit of her work. Legacy of the Kalani is indeed about Sargot Kala and its inhabitants, the Kalani, and although the senator was clearly harboring a strong sense of nationality, it never clouded her vision enough to make the book distastefully biased. You learn about how the calamity brought about the existence of crystal forests and how in the Fourth Age, every Kalani has some form of a connection to such a Calaris. You also learn that Rain was a crystalmancer of considerable power and delved into the possibilities granted by memory crystals, a technique by which one could migrate their consciousness into complex arcane crystals. Oh. What now? Order a book on Tark. Oh yeah, we need to actually go here. Hive. But they want dried fruit. We need to go and get that then. Negotiate the Iskori's involvement in the sandworm incident. You explain the nature of the worm menace as well as your request for the Iskori's aid to the ambassador. Another deranged menace, it utters once the account is finished, and clacks its mandibles agitatedly. But no, you are a good friend of Iskori, but not friend enough. Show us your dedication and the herd joins your war. Yeah, they want more fruit. That's all they want. So let's go up to... We bother Vitrar? I think maybe no. Let's just go. I don't want to go down there. I'll have to stop there. Hello. Hello, Ho-Oh. How's it going? I think we have to stop here. For today. Did I fail successfully? I don't know. We'll have to see. Blood test is gonna take a couple of days. Ooh, but I am tired. Yeah, no. I live in the middle of nowhere. They have to send the blood test with some car to the city. Yeah, now I just have to deal with the withdrawals. The pizza withdrawals. Ooh. Okay, what do we sell here? Anything worth selling here? Spices? Not in demand. Okay. That's not very good then. Wine, not worth it here. Bright kelp, not in demand. Chitin, not in demand. Alright. So what we're doing now is... we are going to go and try to get support for the war against the earthworms. and actually progress that part of the story. I want to do the wind stuff more in reality, but let's just finish this off first. Wine. Chitin. Oh. Spice? No. These guys don't have anything worth. Lave for a Vernum, sure. Purchase some bronze armaments. Is that... I have a little thing here again. Bronze... Iron weapons go there. Oh. Dwarven gadget. Oh, not much else to do here. Then we go up. Weather the storm. Yeah, we need to go to the Sadirar people and request aid from there. Which should be free, because that should be done already. Then we'd go to Avernum, and there I don't know. I don't feel like I've done anything there to let me do that, but maybe? Ask for a blessing. I'm running out of money. Okay, so... And that's 11. There's no key binding for that. So doing this would take literally like all day. And you barely get anything out of it. I don't know if you can sell this. Like, the prices don't really fluctuate that much. So it's like... I don't feel like it's worth finding like a better place to sell it. It's weird. How many do we have now? 27. Oh, that was pretty fast. All right, we can keep 22. Now let's see. Spices. Do these guys sell scrap metal? No. Chitin's not worth selling here. Bright kelp. Very worth selling here. Jade is super valuable. What's the price of Ceruleus here compared to other places like Lumen? It's, yeah, not worth it. It's actually really expensive. To the point that this is almost where we should be shipping it. Compared to like buying it in Lumen and selling it in Torzag. Almost nothing. Though you do get a lot by doing the... Like it's almost not worth buying and selling compared to doing just shipment orders. Which is a bit of a shame, in my opinion. It means you just have to be someone else's slave the entire time. No! Sand schworms. Might actually do some damage. Oh, oh, never mind. Never mind. $18 sandworm trophies. I need to find somewhere to sell them. But I think you can only sell them in, like, one of the big cities. I don't actually know where they take them. I need another horse. Is this where I'm getting all of my chitin, just killing these guys? I think so. We'll just sell this here. I don't want to carry it around anymore. Wine. Worth shitloads here. I actually wish we had more wine, but... Jade is worth quite a lot. Spice, not worth. Actually, kind of not worth selling more of those. Coffee beans we can buy here. Rukt Wrath. Huh? Oh. This is a guy who wants to go to the Twin Towers. I see it now. Rukt Wrath. Oh yeah. We need a horse. Ask them to aid the battle against the sandworms. When Ekra hears of Tectum Carvos' plea from your mouth, he takes you before the council right away. There you recount what has been happening at the beleaguered town for a long while now. how you aided them up until now, and how they ask you to seek the wisdom of the Sadirar in the battle to come, hoping to invoke old covenants. The shamans sit motionless, listening to your words with growing concern. After an hour of deliberation in their native tongue, they summon you from a waiting chamber again. We have concluded that it is the bound duty of the Sadirar people to take up arms against the common enemy that has returned. The Speaker of the Shaman Council announces, to the general approval of the listeners and guests. This task was given to us by the Great Spirits, and the Shamans are more than willing to bear the burden of a war against the slithering threat. However, the Speaker lets it hang there for a moment. The silence inside Spirit Hall is deafening. We are only bound to aid ones that have been made our kin, not by blood, but by spirit. You tell them that you have already been blessed by all the tribes, as well as earned the right to be heard by this very council. All true, the Speaker replies, and yet not enough. To be our spirit kin, one must go on a spirit quest and return to tell the council what occurred. The easiest way, and with this matter time is of the essence, is to ascend the mountain of Kor and walk the path. Approving murmurs echo in the smoky hall. Ekra steps to your side. I shall be the guide for the Vagrus, he announces, which is welcomed by ceremonial singing. Do this, and our aid is yours, the Speaker concludes. It is our way. Go to the mountain right now. You are given permission by the Council of Shamans at Spirit Hall to ascend the mountain of Kor. Ekra shall accompany you, but even with his guidance, you might find the ascent difficult. Are you sure that you are ready? Yes. Before the ascent, one needs to prepare for the journey, and so you are taken to the stone arch that symbolizes the beginning of the path. Beyond lies a barren, jagged mountainside, leading up and up until it is lost in clouds. Or is it smoke from the nearby fiery mountains? You're now a pathwalker, Ekra explains, as he paints on your face the symbols required for a spirit quest on the mountain of Kor. He himself will wear the markings of a guide. Guides are companions for pathwalkers, he tells you. Our responsibility is to give advice and strength to the seekers, the ones on the quest. Shamans here often walk the path when in need of signs from the great spirits, or when they feel death coming. Friends of the tribes are seldom allowed to do so. It is a great honor. You ask him why the mountain here is so important. This is where the people encountered the great spirits and received guidance after the Sadirar emerged from their underground vaults. Kor was the name of the first shaman, according to legend, and since then it has become synonymous with the covenant we made with the spirit world. You carry on with the preparations. Ekra tells you that you can and should take something to the mountain peak, to leave it there as a gift for the spirits. It is one of the traditions, he says. Pick something that has meaning to you or what you want the spirits to see as connected to you. What will you take? Bro, I don't know. Take a rare precious stone. Rare jewel. Once you make the decision, Ekra gives you a water skin and a walking staff, then you pass under the stone arch. There is a strange sensation accompanying the moment you step on the path. It is as if you crossed into another world, although nothing changed to your surroundings. You begin to walk following a track outlined by tribal signs and small totems. Ekra, one step behind you at all times. Climbing the steep mountainside up to the peak will take most of the day. Success, thank you. Hours go by at a snail's pace. You and Ekra make your way up the mountain slowly but steadily, conserving your strengths for the final stretches that promise to be the most taxing. On and on you climb. At length, after what feels like an eternity, you reach a plateau high up the mountain of Kor. You have been looking at your feet, mostly up until now, so turning around and seeing the view from up here makes you gasp. To the southeast, the vast rolling desert appears under the horizon in a yellow haze. Turning left and facing east, you see the distant fiery glow of the tip of the molten tongue in the distance. To the northeast lie the cragged lands called the Grim Plains, and you can see a darker spot that must be fabled Quathos at the far end of Tarar Barak. But the west is closed off to your gaze by a gigantic mountain still rising up as far as you can see. The only change is that a faint orange glow seems to emanate from behind its vast rocky form, probably the light of the Iron Sea's lava. Here, Ekra says after you rest a while. You walk up to him and see that someone left a handful of objects on a rock with a flat top. The spirits have gifts of their own to give, your guide says. Take one that resonates with your soul. There is a dagger fashioned from obsidian, scales made of bronze, and a map etched on soft leather. I'm going to take the map. You take the gift and Ekra nods. Let's go. The peak is still quite far. As you are crossing the plateau, you talk about the path and you ask Ekra if you can expect danger ahead. Pathwalkers are in no danger, he tells you. Guides, that's another matter entirely. You walk on in silence. The plateau starts to rise, and all around you jagged standing stones cover the ground. Smoke floats among the rocks, obscuring the way ahead. The path then separates into half a dozen trails, and you discover an intricate tribal drawing on one of the large stones. Perhaps some sort of a riddle or map for the many ways in front of you. You try to make sense of it. You realize that the sun symbols are junctions, while the stars are turns in paths. After memorizing it, you take the optimal way to cross the maze of a section. Unfortunately, you have to begin climbing again at the other end. You keep ascending the mountain of Kor until you realize that you're among the clouds now. The air is very cold here, so stopping for too long is not recommended. The peak must be fairly close now. The fiery glow from the west paints the low-hanging clouds orange, and seeing anything has become difficult at best. Then, out of the fog, the orange light begins to take shape, much like a luminous floating liquid, and forms into a humanoid figure. Then another one, and another. Alarmed, you ask Ekra what these are. But upon seeing the guide's terrified expression, you know that something is very, very wrong. The lean, glowing shapes lunge forward to attack. You barely manage to get out of their way. Run! Ekra shouts, and you comply. He rushes after you, while trying to invoke a shamanic spell to repel the specters, but before he can complete it, he trips and falls to the ground. The horrors are closing in. Now, the question is, do I still have the spirit spell? I don't think so. And this was like, the first thing I thought when I clicked like go immediately was there are going to be specters and we're going to fail because I'm not going to have the specter spell on me. But we do have 2 people who can damage them, so maybe it's fine. Try to save Ekra, even though by doing so you risk your own skin. You leap at Ekra's side, and yelling you swing your weapons toward the glowing shapes. To your surprise, this gives them pause, but several of them still manage to touch your arms, causing a strange drain, making you exhausted and slightly confused. Ekra gets to his feet and completes the spell, which does repel the spectral shapes. Thank you, he says, panting, then grabs your arm and pulls you away, up and up the path. You can see that he is genuinely scared, but the specters do not return as you make your escape. At length, the fog begins to dissipate. Oh, it's raining, it's so nice. You emerge out of the clouds and look back on a magnificent view. Beneath you is a gray-white carpet touching the horizon. The sun is setting beyond the mountains to the west, so darkness is already forming at the edge of the cloudscape, with stars twinkling in the forming void. You are now on the last leg of the ascent, with the peak visible several hundreds of feet above you. Long banners are billowing in the cold wind, and the rocks are painted in the colors of the 4 great tribes. Exhausted, yet urged on by the closeness of your goal, you begin to climb, but after a few steps you falter. There is suddenly an outside force, a terrible will pushing against you, holding you back. You force yourself to progress, but each step is becoming harder and harder to take as if walking against a powerful gale. Doubt starts to take hold of you. Ekra squeezes your shoulders and urges you on. Lots of rolls here. Luckily, we are basically guaranteed. Closing your eyes, gritting your teeth, and focusing on taking one step at a time, you manage to push through, and suddenly, the strange will opposing you dissipates. When you open your eyes, you see that you have arrived at the peak. It feels like standing on top of the world. The peak of the mountain of Kor is surprisingly unimpressive. There is nothing here but rocks and constant chill wind. The banners flapping in the cool air are torn and old, and nobody bothered to repaint the old colorful tribal symbols on the rocks either. Clouds block the view to the east, but the west is visible now despite the smoke covering most of the land there. The cyclopean dark peaks of the mountains of fire stand threateningly, and the large lava lake in the valleys beneath, that they call the Iron Sea, glows with a hellish light. Here and there, metallic ruins dot the view, forlorn, belted dwarven cities, inaccessible thanks to the terrain and other dangers. As you're looking around, you begin to feel terribly exhausted, and suddenly cannot control yourself. In less than a minute you sit down, then lie down, and fall into a strange slumber. Then into the dreaming. You find yourself on the peak of the mountain of Kor, but it is night. The clouds beneath to the east are there, the distant lava glow of the west is there, and the sky is full of stars. Walking around, you cannot find anyone or anything. The banners are gone, as are the paintings on the rocks, the charms, and the totems. Nothing but rocks. Then you are hit by the feeling that you're being watched. Looking around, you begin to notice an odd light coming from above, like flecks of sunlight. Following it upwards, your gaze falls upon what looks like gigantic versions of the spectres in the fog, except that they are not orange in hue, but golden. Their faces are vacant, and the lower part of their elongated bodies disappear in the clouds beneath the mountaintop. They are looking down upon the peak. Are they looking at you? Then one of them reaches out a long hand towards you, and you involuntarily curl up on the ground. You try to scream, but no sound comes out. However, when the glowing golden hand reaches you, it halts, and the only thing you can feel is warmth. And perhaps a sensation not unlike kind worry. There is a flash of iridescent light. You can see a delicate white city under the starlit sky from above, like a bird flying high. Insane winds wreak havoc among its ruined streets, striking outwards over a cracked landscape. The only place safe from the gale is a desiccated grove among crumbling marble walls, a palace garden. You can hear a woman crying. You are hit by a sensation of betrayal, loss, unspeakable sorrow. There is another flash. I think tonight I was having dreams that were super annoying. I think I was dreaming about like writing for loops, and then it was like stuck on repeat. 'Cause I get those kind of dreams where the dream is like about problem solving, but because it's a dream, the problem is unsolvable because the logic isn't consistent. So my brain gets stuck like trying to solve it in a loop, and that loop gets more and more and more and more agitating as it loops, and I just start squirming more and more and more until I like wake up. And I remember trying to solve something like that in the middle of the night, and then I woke up and I was just like, fuck you. I often blurt out fuck you in the middle of the night in English. When I'm having annoying dreams. You wake up with a jolt. 5 XP? You are not on top of the mountain of Kor, but in a bed in a small room with a fireplace. It is night outside. Welcome back. Ekra is sitting on the ground across you. You had a powerful spirit dream on the holy mountain, and the shamans decided to bring you down themselves. This is by no means usual. He rises and gives you some tea. You ask him what happened. I'm not sure. He sucks in air. You fell asleep almost instantly once you reached the peak. I don't know what you dreamed about. That is something you have to decide who to share with. Knowing that nobody is more qualified to interpret your visions than a shaman of the Sadirar, you explain what you saw. Ekra nods a couple of times. Signs and portents, he tells you. Of what is to come, perhaps. And the ethereal entities? I would say that you were touched by the great spirits. I don't wish to guess, and not everything has to be explained, analyzed, and interpreted. Blessed is the word, for there are still wonders in it. I am both reassured and terrified by the mountain of Kor. Spirits walk near that peak, and we have learned that they must walk alone. Only when it's absolutely necessary do we commune with them there. As for you, you will definitely get what you came here for. You ask him what will happen. Ekra tells you that he is taking you to Spirit Hall the moment you feel strong enough. Feeling no lasting effect of your haunting experience on the mountain, you go with him right away. There are council shamans. There the Council of Shamans welcomes you, and you explain what you saw. They are unanimous in their decision. In the light of what happened at the end of your spirit quest, we are now convinced that the Great Spirit sent you to us as a herald in the face of a resurfing menace, an ancient-looking shaman says, speaking for all of them. Our people have to fight in this war against the worms, like we did in ages past. We'll honor your request and take as many of our warriors and shamans to Tectum Carvus as we can. Expect us there when you arrive. Now go with our blessing. They chant a somber song, and once they are done, you leave Spirit Hall with Ekra. Your guide smiles. I'm glad that you got what you wanted, he tells you, but I am as exhausted as you are. Rest now. The spirits tell me that this is just the beginning. You say your farewells and head back to the Comitatus. You cannot wait to go to bed and shut your eyes. Gain the blessing of spirits. For 9 days. 22 insight. What do we do with that? I want to level up my guys, but I don't think I can level up anybody. Can't level up Harbeck. Garrick, we can level up Garrick. Honestly, I kind of want like all the skills on him. Almost. Like pistol shot is good. Lock and load. Gives you 6 crit. The salvaged rune. Nobody knows what that does. So let's just get the pistol shot. But I like both the pistol shot and the gas bomb. Your magical skill effects last 1 additional turn. Now the question is, what does that affect? Like, is that only lock and load? Or does that affect gas bomb? I kind of want to save and try taking it, see if it changes the values. Because gas bomb says 2 rounds, 3 rounds. Durable spells. Yeah. That's huge. Sure. It does give 5 accuracy, which is pretty big. We can't. I don't have any more insight to level up anyway, but nobody can level up really. I wonder if conflagration is worth taking. Because it targets 4 targets. While domination, all it does is stun. Which could be good, but I feel like every single boss is immune to the stun anyway, so it kind of doesn't matter. And the Summon Servant is kind of ass, too. But I only have level 1 Summon Servant. I don't know if it becomes much better. Like, if I click this, he has 5 Vitality. Leveled up, he has 7 Vitality. I don't know. They're just not that impressive. All right. Now we head to Avernum. And keep marching. As the Comitatus struggles forward over the broken terrain, one of your men shouts out from the front of the column. Something on the path ahead. He does not sound panicked, but it is always better to be wary. You halt the line and rush forward to get a better look. As you do so, a savage war cry pierces the air, and deranged bandits leap from cover, ready to assail you. Whether their intent is murder or abduction, you cannot be sure. A Vagrus would certainly prove a powerful bargaining tool. Not intending to find out, you call your companions to you. They are with you in moments. And then, at your direction, they join the fray. Alright, 3 guys. I think we can take care of that. Man, it's hot. No, it's actually cold here. It's been cold, like, all week. But honestly, in my apartment, it's like always a heat wave. Even in winter, it's like 25 degrees Celsius inside. So for me, it's always too hot. But no, we don't have an actual heat wave here yet. Thank you. Thank God. Yep. I mean, I don't know if it's actually the heat pipe that's causing it. Like, I think it's partially that. Because the I used to think that, like, my apartment was nice because it was cool. But now my apartment is fucking atrociously hot. And I don't know if it's just like newer computers just being that much hotter always, that it's just fucking up the apartment that bad. Or if they just changed something in like the heating settings in the house. I don't know. But I do have a new AMD CPU. Do you even need to put heating on in the winter? No, not at all. I always have it turned off now, which it didn't used to be like that. I actually used to turn it on. But it doesn't cost anything anyway, so it doesn't help me, unfortunately. When the last of your foes fall, your companions move to finish the job, ending them one by one. Many beg and panic, yet you pay their pleas no mind, commanding your combs to kill them to the last. Afterward, you order the crew to gather everything of value. There is little loot, however, only dried mushrooms and moldy flatbread. It is no wonder they were desperate enough to attack. They were likely starving out there. It is time to leave this place. 50 supplies. Okay. We push it all the way in. Alright, first things first. We go to smelt the scrap. Spice, not worth selling here. Chitin, not really, but I'm gonna get rid of it. Coffee, not worth selling. Nothing is ever worth selling. Alright. Who am I looking for? The Slag Fort. Pay fines. I don't know what... Like... I constantly have, like... random crimes that I've committed, and I don't know why. It just is. Who am I supposed to talk to? The Slag Fort. The Bounty Office? The Haunting of Scoria. Infirmary. I don't get it. The Freelancers Guild. Huh? It should be here, because this is where the Prefectus lives. So... maybe we need to finish this. There's a bounty here. Is that it? Inquire about the strange disappearances around a block of warehouses in Scoria. The orc bounty officer gives you a strange look when you mention the rumor about the missing people in Scoria. That business. I'm not sure if it's Collegia getting rid of people and telling ghost stories, or if it's a prank. But neither the Avernus Legion nor the bounty hunters found anything when they took a look at the place. These warehouses are about to collapse, you know. There was something shifty there a decade ago, or so. Some slave lovers ran an operation out of them or whatever. I mean, there is a reward of 10 silver for finding out what is causing the disappearances, but I wouldn't hold my breath. Still, wanna take it? I mean, this doesn't sound related, but maybe. Right, be my guest. The orc shrugs indifferently. Now, if you were expecting some pointers, I can't help you with that. The Avernus fuckheads combed the whole place. Streets, warehouses, neighborhoods, and found squat. Allegedly. Well, you never know with them. But who knows, you might be able to find something that they were oblivious to. You take note of the address so that you can find the warehouses in Scoria from now on. Okay. Find the warehouses connected to the disappearance. The neighborhood where the warehouses stand looks even worse than the rest of Scoria. It is right next to the city's curtain wall, and beside the row of abandoned storage facilities, mostly dilapidated tenements. You're not at all shocked that people go missing here. That just reminds me of a game called Constructor for some reason. You had tenants there. We played this game a lot. My cousin had it. Super segue. Oh, I am really out of it though. I don't know how long we'll be streaming, but I wanted to get some streaming done.
Let's rotate this round and try and be as efficient as possible.
I think this is the kind of game that when I was a kid, you would just start it and like play the first level.
Half an hour episodes on each game, I think.
And that's all you ever played it. You just like fucked around in it a bit. But that's how I played most games when I was a kid, to be honest.
Percy and Beaker Johnson or Scott and Deidre Blinky.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right, it's fun. Let's get you hedgerowed up.
Put tenants in. Make their house nice.
You moved in, so higher rent. It's an explosion. So you just need a separate plot of area to do that.
I kind of miss when games were just like random games that you just play, but I would also never play a game like that nowadays. Like in a way, that's what I want, okay, but cool. I don't want like these little silly like bullfrog games from back in the day. Okay. But yeah, it is what it is. We used to play this around the time of XCOM, Theme Park, Civ 2. Yeah, my cousin had it. We played it a bit. I also had there was like a bullfrog collection that we bought pretty much when we bought a computer, more or less. And it came with like Populous, Syndicate, Magic Carpet, and a bunch of other games. Theme Park, maybe, I think. played those a lot. It also came with... Is it called Power Slave? Yeah, Magic Carpet is definitely one of those games that you never finish. Like, you just play it and you fly around a bit on your carpet and then you stop. I never finished that at all. Power Monger. That's what it was called. But it didn't work. I don't know why it didn't work. Actually, I think it worked. I think it worked, but I couldn't figure out how to play it. I'm not sure, because I remember there were some games back in the day that just kind of needed like a certain kind of graphics card or a certain kind of chipset or something, and they just didn't work. But I think this one might have worked, but I just could not figure out how to actually play the game. So I have no idea what the game is like. I just know that there's like a bunch of houses and buttons. I have never seen this game played. But yeah, no, I had like every single game as a kid because it was just infinite demo discs or... I think I told this story before, but in the school cafeteria, there was a guy who we bought like pirated collection discs from. He just put games on them for $5. So we bought some of those, and he was also related to one of my friends, so my friend also just had like a bunch of discs with just tons of games on them that were pirated, that we just played. But I mean, it was also... like, that's what you did at LAN parties and stuff as well. You went there to pirate. So that's what everybody did. Everyone just went there so that they could download anime and games from each other. So that's also what we did. But especially the demo discs, because I feel like most games you didn't really need to finish them to play them. It was like you play the demo and you kind of understood what the game was like. And back then, I also didn't mind like replaying demos a lot. In fact, I almost like the demos better than like the full games in some cases. Because the demo, it's kind of like Skyrim, right? Where you have this thing that like has promise, right? It's like, oh, there could be more, there could be this, there could be that, what if? And then when you finally play it, you're like, okay, it was actually just like worse than the first two levels for the rest of the game. Which is very, very common. So, yeah. But I do think that was really valuable as like a game developer that I just played the demos of all of these games. Though I think that kind of experience is valuable, but I only think it's valuable to a certain point. At some point, you also need to actually get good at some games to actually understand like things. But yeah. I played the heck out of the MechWarrior 2 demo, but the full game was awesome in the end. And didn't ever have that demo, but I did have the full game, but I only ever like started it and played like the first level, and I never played it more than that. Like I started to shoot the big blue orbs, and then I'm like done. Not like the like plasma weapons or whatever. Anyhow. Yeah. The neighborhood where the warehouse stand looks even worse than the rest of Scoria. It is right next to the city's curtain wall, and beside the rows of abandoned stone facilities, mostly dilapidated tenements. You're not at all shocked that people go missing here. There are several ways you can approach this, including going to the warehouses connected to the disappearance. Go directly to the ominous warehouses. It takes a matter of minutes to locate the warehouses in question, then to find the supposedly haunted warehouse. It is a large building, in a fairly sad condition. The once yellow paint has all but flaked off, and nobody cared to clear the ash covering the roof and the walls facing the inner city. Enter the warehouse. The inside of the long warehouse is engulfed in complete darkness, so you take out some lamps, but even so, the surrounding twilight seems to drink the light, and you can feel the place's oppressing aura. The place is completely abandoned, and judging by the inside of the main storage room, it is a sort of a miracle that it is standing considering the level of neglect. Dust and ash cover the surfaces, but other than some nondescript debris, the warehouse is empty. The sour stench adds to the uncomfortable sensation that overwhelms you. After a first sweep, you find no sign of any activity or haunting here, let alone clues as to what happened to the people gone missing. You think about what to do next. Standing in the large, empty main storage room, you think about your options. Magical scrying might come in handy. It becomes swiftly apparent that dark magic permeates this place, but the scrying does not reveal the decaying stench of misused necromancy. No, it is the acrid smell of brimstone that is everywhere, suggesting a demonic affliction. Perhaps there is something to the local belief of a haunting, only its nature was misunderstood, and yet whatever its source is, you cannot pinpoint, and thus conclude that it must be hidden nearby. Give the place another thorough search. Nothing new turns up. Okay. No matter how hard you look, your group finds no trace of a haunting or any other activity, so you decide to abandon hope and head back to the more populated section of Scoria. This mystery has to be solved by someone else in the future. It was probably nothing anyway. What? What do you mean? We just gave up? What the fuck? We literally found out that there's demonic presence there, and we just like, nah. That was terrible. What was that? All right. I'm just confused because we were supposed to talk to the prefectus here, but I can't find anything. No, there's no guy here to talk to. We need blessings. Ashkul. Pay for a blessing of unbinding. Ask for a greater blessing. No, just a normal blessing. And Sergorod. All right. So, the Blessing of Ashkul. Lower chance of undead ambush. That doesn't do much. Sergorod, plus 10% combat strength, plus 1 max vigor. I think that only affects crew, yeah. Okay, that's not that useful then. What might be useful here? Let's see, accuracy. Life leech. All resistances. Accuracy. Accuracy. All resistances. Die hard. There aren't really that many interesting equipment items. Alright. Let's try again then. See if we can win this time. But I kind of doubt it. I have leveled up my guys a lot, but I noticed that he was actually injured. Just gotta mash through this. He only lost 1 HP. Alright. Now here's the question. They have 40% poison resistance, so I mean, it's just that killing them is just, generally speaking, the best thing you can do. Relax. Oh. Watch as I lose characters here. They do so much damage. Oh, he's down. They do so much damage, they have like infinite health, they evade. They just suck. Fuck you. Good. Alright. There's no way we're gonna manage. Like, there's no way. He has 75 health and does like 8 damage per hit. There is no way. Fuck you. Yep, he's down. Oh, no. Die hard. Ouch. No! Oh my fucking god, dude! Garrick is like the only character who can carry this. Ah, fuck you. Why can't I swap with Garrick? Alright, I guess it's all down to whether we can do this. Because he's immune to my magic damage too. If we do 1 damage there, 8 damage. Ooh. With some luck, it might be doable. We are having a lot of luck. Tons of crits. Oh, he actually got taunted. Nice. Oh, he's gone. Yeah, I think we'll make it. I think we'll make it. Being able to actually damage him is helpful. And him not actually doing his damaging attack is also helpful. One final successful attack, and Morgarthon falls to his knees. All across the unholy throne room, his minions flee like cockroaches caught in torchlight, scuttering back to the abyss from whence they came. The mighty demon lord is alone, its tar-like blood oozing into steaming puddles. Nadir reaches up to Morgarthon's head with her right hand. With her left, she holds the medallion. Then she speaks a word of power. Both the amulet and the demon's horns begin to glow, radiating fiery red light. You can tell that it is a battle of wills, but however powerful Morgarthon was, Nadir now clearly has the upper hand, due to your victory. The infernal fortress begins to shake while the sorceress's eyes glow with a green flame. Both her and the demon lord scream. The creature of the abyss erupts into flames and burns like a dry cinder block on a hot wasteland evening. The strands of black smoke emerging from his shriveling body are immediately sucked into the medallion in Nadir's hand. In the end, only the demon lord's horns remain, falling to the ground with a dull thud. The earthquake stops, and silence breaks over the throne room. Nadir breathes out and hugs the necklace to her chest. A few moments pass, and you begin to hear the angry screams of a myriad of demons all over the fort. They regrouped while their master fell, and now they are hungry for revenge. You all begin to run. You head for the stairs, ascend and run toward the portal gleaming above it just as a horde of flying and scampering abyss creatures begins to converge on the battlements. With a final effort you leap through the portal just as the hordes of chaos would close in on you. Once you are on the other side, the gate immediately closes behind you. You are back in Incanus' summoning chamber. At first, the silence is almost deafening after the cacophony you have endured during the last minutes spent in the abyss. Then Incanus speaks. This looks like it was a close call. Nadir holds up her medallion with a triumphant grin. The mage inspects the trinket. Maybe you haven't noticed, but the amulet has changed, he says after a while. Only then does Nadir take a closer look at it, and so do you. The necklace's medallion now resembles the demon lord Morgarthon's visage, locked in a tormented, disdainful frown. You successfully captured the demon lord's essence, Incanus declares. Nadir raises and cocks her head as if listening to something. The curse is lifted, she says calmly after a few moments. Relief washes over all of you. You're safe, back in the Riven Realms, and not only have you vanquished a powerful enemy, but Nadir also gained an artifact of power. While Incanus tends to your companions, Nadir pulls you aside. The sorceress places the relic around her neck. She hesitates, but then eventually begins to speak. I can feel it. Feel Morgathon. What's left of him, anyway. The Demon Lord's essence is in the medallion now, but harnessing its power is a double-edged blade. Still, I am certain that I will be able to control it. I would never have come so far had I stayed with the Crimson Order. I feel exalted, a true mage at last. Then she looks straight into your eyes. The cruelty is still there in her gaze, perhaps even more so than before. You helped me, Vagrus. You came along. Of course, there were things on the road you have benefited from. You have walked the abyss and lived to tell others about it. Not many wayfarers can brag about that, but nonetheless, I thank you for your companionship. I might have seemed difficult at times. And you know what? It was a terrible, difficult time, and so I will not apologize. But from now on, I can assist you without those pesky demons bothering us. I would say that is a win. Then the sorceress walks away without telling you where she is going, but she will be back, and that is enough. Incanus escorts you out of the tower and bids you farewell. You return to the Mancio and celebrate and rest. Alright. So. Morgarthon's jail. Minus 66 mind res. Plus 2 power. It's not that good. It's actually kind of bad. Oh no, it gives you perks. Gives you +1 terrifying, frenzy, and 2 intimidation. But otherwise the stats are pretty bad. Like 2 power doesn't do anything. 25 fire res, magic 20 magic res is like okay, I guess, but it's also kind of whatever. 1 vitality is nothing. Like she has 13 vitality, getting 14 is gonna be like whatever. Minus 66 mind res, that sucks potentially. So yeah, I don't know. Do we equip that? Terrifying, frenzy, intimidation. What does that do? Terrifying. Attacks against you have a 10% accuracy penalty. Frenzy. After you deal damage in melee, you gain +3 initiative and +20 damage. That's useless. So she gets 2 intimidation. Okay. Yeah. Not too impressive. Oh, this one gives perks too. Have I been neglecting the perks? Magic sense. Regen. Not really. Crystal Idol gives fearless. It's really bad otherwise. But this one, I use this one because it gives you like magic regen. I don't think anyone else can use this channeling. Spell penetration, durable spells. Nah, whatever. This is honestly better on someone else, I feel like. Like, the fact that it gives you Frenzy means that it doesn't do anything on her. But sure, whatever. I mean, it's not necessarily whatever. Because, like, this here gives 5 accuracy. Like, that's just... I feel like that's just better. So what about instead we give it to, like, Harvick? Instead of the Die Hard one, because that one's not that good. He can then have +1 Vitality and the Frenzy thing. Which means plus 20% damage on your next turn if you just keep spamming attacks, which is all he does. Alright, that's good. Gain the Prefectus of Avernum as an ally. What does that mean? He's supposed to be in the Slag Fort, right? The headquarters of the Prefectus himself. Yeah? But... what? Is it... wait, Avernum. Yeah. Let's see if we can figure something out there. Because I don't know. There's nothing left to do here. If your rep is low... I can't even talk to him. Something about the arena. Talk to the condemned warrior you saw fighting earlier. Upon receiving the bribe, the guards escort you into the tunnels beneath the arena and take you to the place where gladiators are kept. After telling you that you have only a few minutes, they open a door and usher you in. At the end of a short corridor is a larger cell with hardened bone bars. The warrior, who the guards tell you is called Scornar, the blue-faced, is in there, lying on his cot. After you are left alone with him and introduce yourself, he gets up, walks to the bars and leans onto them, stroking his long braided beard. I do not know you, friend. Are you an admirer, or a collegium henchman come to gloat? No, you don't look like that. Not at all. So what do I owe this visit? You tell Scornar that you saw him in the arena, and that the fight, as well as the rumors about his predicament, piqued your interest. So does that mean that you're looking for a new partner for your enterprise? A bodyguard? A lackey? Unfortunately, I'm all out of options, as you can see. He exhales sharply, then raises a hand. My apologies for being snarky. Truth is, I'm getting tired of my situation here. Perhaps I've already made my peace with it. This is my end. I'd rather be done with it already. But these pathetic fucks can't seem to get good enough gladiators to finally kill me, and I have no way of getting out of here. So here we are. Scornar looks at you with a mischievous smile. Of course, if someone would bust me out of here, I would be eternally grateful. I could even work with such a friend, he says, shrugging, then adds, if I were someone like that, I'd seek out someone in power in this city, if you haven't done that already. Before you could talk more, the guards return to escort you out, saying your time is up. Best of luck, friend, Scornar says, smiling. You're escorted back to the common area. Okay. Now, can we visit someone? No? It said something about needing to be renown 9. I think we are damaged. No. Back out. Cancel. What do you mean? I can't cancel? Are you serious? Let's level that up, and then we put mark on both of them. Ouch. We start stabbing. I'm so confused. I think it's bugged. Let's see. Um, because he's supposed to be in the Slag Fort, but there's nothing. So what I think is supposed to happen is that you go to the arena, and then the prefect is there. There's an event where somebody tries to assassinate him, and then you can intervene. And I think if you intervene, then you can talk to him, but I guess because I didn't, now I can't. And I need to talk to him to do this mission. So let's see, what do we need? Golden Theory. Copper and timber. We'll need to get the timber where we can. Because we have the copper. Let's go to Crystal. We also need to go to Devon. But yeah, this place is bugged. Either it's bugged or I just need to go to the arena again, but we can't do that for another week because we just fought in the arena. Either way, it's very poorly implemented. No two ways around that. We go here. I'm running out of money. This place usually is a good place to sell things, but not really this time. Copper doesn't go for much here. I mean, it doesn't go for nothing, but it definitely doesn't go for a lot. Do they have timber? No. An orc. Ouch. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. "13 changers." Alright. I don't know if is it worth... you can rest here, okay. We just head along this way. Bag of spectral dust. 4 spectral dust. Hell yeah. I think he's pretty much always worth buying everything from. Arena is pretty much finished here. No timber. Where are spices worth selling? Pretty much nowhere. The Twin Towers. Yeah, the Twin Towers. That's it. Alright. I'm almost out of money. That's where we're going. I've been in the desert for so long now, I barely even remember being here. All right. Metal is worth selling here. Iron. Not iron, actually. I don't think so. Not spices. Alright, let's see if this guy wants something new. Deliver Kral Hestera's plea for aid. The prince hears you mention the name of the Kral and beckons you to his throne. There you recount the tale of Tectum Carvos and the need for the Dark Elves' aid, adding that Hestera believed that her past service to the prince has earned her his allegiance. You also let it slip that the town is willing to give the colony here important trade concessions. Yes, Lakor massages his crowned temples after he ponders the matter. Kral Hestera saved my wives from an assassin sent by the blasted Varakai, and although this was many years ago, deeds such as that do not expire, nor does the honor they have brought to the name of the ones who commit them. We shall honor her plea. You are a trusted friend, Vagrus, and if you brought us this alliance together, then we shall be a part of it. Lakor then orders the horrified Majordomo to start preparations for the departure of the prince and his elite guard. They will meet you in Tectum Carvos when the time comes. That was easy. I don't have 6 herb lore? What? Still not enough. Like, +1 herb lore. Still not enough. Really? How's that possible? There. Observe rare crystals and plants. You take a long walk in the more secluded parts of the Hanging Gardens, pondering your latest discoveries involving crystals and plants. It is clear from your previous conversations with the botanist, and from your prior knowledge on the matter, that the crystalline formations gather and store arcane energy similar in nature to life force. This energy is then slowly seeping into the surrounding plant life, invigorating them, and enhancing their growth. But it is one thing to know of it, and another to actually sense it. Ley lines stemming from the crystal clusters feed life to the plants, that in turn radiate this power back to the source, creating a cycle of life and energy in the Hanging Gardens that is profoundly magnificent to behold. It is an intricate yet natural system that is the result of centuries of trial and error, as well as some unseen and accidentally tapped synergy. The whole phenomenon informs the observer on the interwoven secrets of crystals and life. It may even have far-reaching implications regarding the nature of living itself. You keep pondering the matter for a long while after your walk. Okay. I think that basically just gave me the insight back. We actually gained 1 insight for buying 2 herb lore. Like, how much hunting do you need for hunting to not be garbage? Like, I feel like it's literally impossible to do anything useful with hunting and survival. Like, it's complete ass. I almost feel like more insight could be good. This one, I want aid. Use resourcefulness to bring back companions from a downed state in companion combat. I feel like that's one of the biggest power boosts you can get. Oh boy. Yeah. Honestly, I think I'm gonna stop there for today. Short stream, but I'm super tired. Eating pizza has taken its toll on me. Also, I just didn't sleep that well because I was having programming nightmares. But yeah. We'll get back to something when we get back to it. I don't know. I'll talk to you guys later. Until next time. Thanks for hanging. Have a good night. Bye-bye.